Hello again. This is the Watering Man, Spiritual Toolbox number 238, John chapter 3, recording number 87, audio recording number 556, and examination table number 216. We'll be starting in John chapter 3, verse 15. Okay? I'll start out reading it from the King James Version first. In the King James Version it says, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have eternal life. Now, let's document this. Let's break it down and get some meaning of what it's really saying. Let's interpret it with the Spirit of God, the righteousness of God, God's love. Okay? Now, the very first word in that verse that they translate as that is Hina. 2443. It's this word right here.
Strong's G 2443. Hina.
Okay. Now let me start out first by saying this. In this, there's like two thought processes in there. Like when you're spun up in these storms of life, in this centrifuge, God's spinning it up, okay, in our lives. And we have to, it's separating it. The Word of God is quick and powerful, and it does all this separating the soul and the spirit, that old muddied up water, separating it out, okay? And there's God's righteousness and your righteousness. And then your righteousness is as filthy stinking rags, and God's righteousness, God's love that's beyond the description of mere words, is like green light, and there's red light. Okay, you're green light, you're agreeing with God. You're red light, you're disagreeing with God. That's all there is. When you're green light, you're going in hot pursuit, full bore. When you're red lighting, you're disagreeing. You're trying not to make any decision, anything but being obedient to God. You're saying, God, that's insignificant. It's really a zero. God doesn't exist, or whatever. All kinds of malarkey stuff. Just yuck. Bullshit thinking. Okay? Now, in thinking this way, these two ways, directly opposing, the carnal mind, the carnal mind and God are enmity, direct opposition. That's just green lighting God, the green way, and the red way, red lighting God, are in direct opposition. The red lighting way is the red way, let's call it, the green way and the red way. When you're making a decision, go back into God, into His love, let Him give you the increase back into the way that God first loved us, and He loves us now, beyond the description of mere words, that God is your exceeding great reward, that God is the greatest, the green way, interpreting God's way is the greatest, is the green way. The red way is God is hatred. God's a mad scientist. God messed up. It's insignificant. It's really a zero that you're resting in, plus whatever experiences you had. It's just, it ain't nothing. That's that old alpha dog. You're red, Adamic nature. You're beast nature, trying to be king. That's the log that's in your eye that's giving you the diarrhea. And all you're seeing, hearing, taste, touch, and smell with that old log. That ego, that ego. In your sight, in your vision, in your seeing, your hearing, your taste, your touch, your smell, It's the I in there that gives you the shits. It's trying to make you bullshit. That's the desire. It's malicious. It's a liar. The way is not in it. Give that devil, that diabolos, or that Satanas, all this adversary. That is the adversary. That's you. That's your own righteousness. That's the red way. That's that Adamic way, the red in the face. Okay? It's red lighting. It's putting a stop to any progress back into the way, the truth, the life, back into God's way. Back into getting back. Be reasonable. Sit my way. You're not sitting at God's way. That's red way. The green way is you're going right back into God. There's a dichotomy. Two directly opposing viewpoints. You're being obedient, green way, to God, or you're being disobedient. You're being obedient to that red dog, that red way, or you're being obedient to the green way. Make up your mind. You must choose. Trying to say, well, I don't have to choose. You're being obedient to your red way. Okay? So there's two directly opposing things here. Okay? Things won't stay the same. If you get too callous down in this red way, it's like being an old wineskin and in new wine. And in this new way, you try to go that way, then, boom, it bursts a bubble, and that way is stuck with just whatever little bit you got. But God put an insurance plan there. He gave all, pas, every man. It says in the King James Version, but it's pas, P-A-S, everyone, the whole, all, any, leaves no one out. And every thought process, it's got a seed of faith. It's like that 1e to the negative 10. But your carnal mind, this red way, is trying to check in, convince you. Remember, it's a liar and the truth's not in it. Don't give that way, that devil, that false accusing sucker, your own carnal mind, any place. Shut up, you old dog. It's yourself. Your own righteousness is as filthy, stinking rags. This is filthy, menstruous, stinking rags. It's yuck. It's destruction. It's just Broadway that leads to destruction. And many are that'll go that way. They'll stay with that thing. A few are that'll turn and go to this narrowing path. God's correction, bringing you back into His love. And there's all kinds of different levels, orders, that God is bringing it to different levels, 1 to 2 to 4 to 8, back into His love. You're gaining the ability to love, to green light, the green way, back into God. Being able to love like God. The greater you can love like God, the more in the image, the exact representation, God's way, God's righteousness, God's love that you are, that you're existing. Be who you are. Exist who you are. Claim your inheritance in God. Okay, now let's reread this verse, okay? John chapter 3, verse 15. That whosoever believeth in Him should not perish, but have eternal life. Okay, now let's break this thing down. Dokibazo, examining it, so we can accurately handle the word of truth, the thought processes of God. So we go farther. We can make a more informed decision, correct decision, so we get farther, 1 to 2 to 4 to 8 in each and every area of our thinking, in the green way, and get away from this red way. Yuck! It's trying to make you a bunch of bullshit. You're thinking it's a bunch of bullshit. It's worthless and detestable. Don't mount to a hill of beans. In other words, don't even mount to a hill of bullcrap. Don't touch, you yuck. Spit that, vomit that stuff out of your mouth. Quit sticking it in your mouth. Okay? Quit eating from that tree of the knowledge of good and evil, trying to make up your own mind. What's good and bad, that's all the red way. That's your Adamic nature. Red man, red-faced. Okay? God's dealing where? In your mind, in your thought processes. Okay? Go God's way. God's way. God's will be done. All right? Not my will, but your will be done, Father. Huh? Didn't even Jesus ask before he's going to the cross, Father, let this cup pass from me. But nevertheless, not my will be done, not my desires, not my red way be done, but your way, your green way, your will, your desires. As trusting, relying upon Christ for your salvation, your deliverance in this thing, no matter what. Going in the lion's den, yes, sir, I obey. Going in that fire furnace, I obey. I'm not going by this, whatever my carnal mind's telling me. Blah, blah, blah. God's your strong tower, your fortress, your protection. Little David going up against that big old 10-foot giant, Goliath, your carnal mind. Take the rock, boom, right in the mind, the forehead, and cut off his head with the word of God, the sword. Take that thing's identity from him. It's burning up that old and transforming it. Burn up that garbage thinking and be transforming and always in an upper manner, speaking about going back into the righteousness of God. Be a little David, an apple of his eye, apple of the eye of God. Go in the vision of God, that green way. If you look hard enough with that red way and see things and view it and interpret it with the red way, what does a prophet do? It interprets the word, the thought processes of God, the spiritual word. It's not an end-time forecaster or whatever. I'll scare the hell out of you. No. It's an interpreter of what God's meaning. Spiritual interpreter. Not woo, woo, scary, scary, scary. No. It's an interpreter. God's not giving you a spirit of fear, but a power, love, and a sound mind. Says that in Timothy. 1st or 2nd Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. I'll have to look. It'd be real quick to look, but I'm going to stay here where I'm at, okay? So when we're reading this and interpreting it, think of it. Am I green lighting God, or am I red lighting God? Okay? Quick. When you're in your storms of life, it comes down to this decision. You got to go one way or the other. Am I green lighting or am I red lighting? Father, give me some discernment so I can autonomy, understand clearly. And then turn from the old thing and separate it up there in that whirlwind. Like Job 23:10. When God has tried me, I shall come forth as gold. Pure gold. The pure nature of God. He's coming back in. 1 to 2 to 4 to 8. I'm getting greater and greater. I'm gaining the greater ability to love as God first loved me, as he loves me. Now, God is my great and exceeding reward. God is great. Yeah, better than chocolate cake, right? Come back in and get that meal. Feed from him. Turn from that old and metanoia and go to him full bore, everything you got. And then rely in that seed of God. That old carnal mind, that red way is telling you, oh, it doesn't even exist. It's nothing. It's insignificant. Shut up, you old dog. duct tape, sock. Man shall not live by bread alone, by your old blabbermouth, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God, by God's thought processes. You'll discern clearly through this experience, and booyah, baby, it's hurrah-oh. Oh, wow, it's discerned clearly. And God gives you an increase, and you're doubling, gaining the ability to love as God does permanently. I'm coming out of the darkness into light, out of the ignorance of God's ways, God's loves, into light. I'm coming from the red way to the green way. I'm coming from the lower realm to the higher realm in the spirit. I'm maturing in Christ. Okay, that's quite a few ways of describing it in analogies, metaphors. Okay? Now let's continue. Let's work on this first some more. Okay? It's really starting. Okay, I read it to you. Do it one more time. That whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have eternal life. The first word, that, is from 2443. Hina, H-I-N-A, this word.
Strong's G 2443. Hina.
Need a little water so I can give you a drink of water. God's thought processes, okay? Okay, now this Hina is a conjunction. In the Strong's, it means in order that. And it's denoting the purpose or the result. Coming back in, the purpose is to bring you back to the right-mindedness of God, the righteousness of God, the love of God, so that he can complete that cha, that agape love that's broken into two words, cha, incompleted love, bring you back so you're gaining the ability to racham, complete that love at a greater and greater and greater level. That's the purpose. That we learn, that we gain it, we acquire it, we possess, inhabit the land, inhabit it in our mind. Those thought processes, being purified back into the right way, the green way, if you will. I explained that, green way, God's way of thinking, not that red Adamic way. Those are directly opposing. Enmity with one another. Carnal mind and the mind of God. Right-mindedness. Put ye on the mind of Christ. Get all that stinking thinking. Okay? Now that first word, Hina, is in order that we achieve that. Little by little by little. 1 to 2 to 4 to 8 to 16. 32, 64, 128. God's purifying me from inside. My mind okay. Right? Always. All right, now. I hear my kitty cat out there. He's talking to me. Come to the door. All right, now. So that is Hina. It's in order that we're achieving this purpose to this green way, okay? Now, whosoever is the next way. Next word. It's not whosoever. Just whoever, and not all of them. No, this word is 3956. P-A-S. Pas. This word.
Strong's G 3956. Pas.
Huh. It's not whosoever. That whosoever. No. Hina, for the purpose of getting you in this green way, right? In order that you get in this green way, all. This pas is an adjective. And the Strong's, it means Strong's, there's all of them. It's basically meaning all, any, every, the whole. I leaves nothing out. No thought processes and nobody. God's put an insurance policy in there. So if you don't agree and you stay not even knowing him in total darkness, there's a little bitty seed that's like that seed of faith, 1e to the negative 35. It's way down beyond any natural means of being able to identify with it. You can't identify it with your own might and your own power, but it's by my Spirit, says the Lord. When he separates it out and brings it down there and then gives you ears to see, hear, taste, touch, or smell it in the Spirit, to discern it. And then turn from that old stuff and go into him full bore and gain a level. 1 to 2 to 4 to 8, 16, 32, he's purifying you. Right? His desire, God's purpose, God's will is to bring you. Be reasonable, my child. Shoot my way. Don't go that old red Adamic way. That red way. That's bullshit. It wants to kill you. It's make God true. God's the truth. He's your exceeding great reward. God is the greatest. Not a monster messed up. Not this red way. Yuck. Get it right. Get your mind right. Quit that foolishness. The day you eat of that stuff, the very moment you eat of that stuff, spit you, vomit you out of his mouth. No matter what you're saying in the physical, what you're doing inside. Because the Pharisee that just shines outside of the cup, they can say, do whatever. The inside's got all kinds of dirty, rotten scumbags in it. That bones, yuck, carnality, that red way. They're not feeding me. They're not turning from that stuff. They're going right in there, trying to sneaky snake it. The thing's trying to poison you with its own red way of thinking. Go to the mind of Christ. Always, always, always. Get the fullness of life in God. Okay? Now, let me see here. I got a note. Yeah. Okay, now, in that Romans chapter 12, verse 3, back here, I'm going to go there just a little bit. I'm not going to do a bunch there. I've already done quite a bit there. Just going to, little reminder that God is insurance policy. He loses none. God loses none. God's the omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent, sovereign God. He's the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. He's not going to share his glory in the green way with any red way at all. Any carnality, any of your stinking thinking, nobody can take the place of God. Even if you do turn away from it and stuff, you're paroptoma. That's one word for sin. The translated sin, that's an intentional or an unintentional side slip or error. Whether you mean to or not, you can't take out that little seed, that breath, that seed of faith, that tiny thing that it's saying is not even there. All it is, it's calling it zero. You can't get rid of it. No matter how much you eat of that old hog slop, eat of your old red way, doesn't matter. God's got you, even in the smallest. But he wants to increase you. Be reasonable. Let me increase you, my child. Come on back to me. Return to me, and I'll make my appearance in you. A little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more as you overcome. As you are a cloud, he's reappearing. He's returning inside you in your clouds. Can you see it? Do you dig it? Digging in your earth, God's digging in your earthly thinking, bringing it out. If you'll agree with me, go the green way, man. It's like a seed in the earth. You plant it, what you got to do is like dies and all the right stuff comes, it germinates, it comes up and grows into a plant, bears much fruit. Whole process. Same type thing. Go the green way, man. Okay? Now, let's read this. Romans chapter 12, verse 3. In the King James language says, For I say, through the grace given unto me, to every man that is among you. That's every man is all. Pas. Okay? Let me make sure. Yeah, I know it is. I just want to make sure. I don't want to break all this down. It would be there a series on this. Yeah, Pas 3956. Okay? For I say, through the grace given unto me, to every man, to Pas, to all, the whole, everyone that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, according as God has dealt to every man, that's Pas also, all, leaves no one out, not even one thought process out. The measure of faith. The measure is metron. It's number 3358, and it's a limited portion. It's a seed of faith. And now that faith, and to every man, Pas 3956, it's all whole. Okay, let me see here. I'll write that one down. No, I have to go. Well, faith, that's pistis. Let me see if it's done pistuo, the verb, or pistis right here. Let me see. Try not to spend too much time here. Yeah, pistis 4102. That's the truthfulness of God. He's bringing you from out of this wrong way, mistaken identity, back into your true identity in God. Increasing it. The faith. The truthfulness of God. God is the greatest. He's increasing you from 1 to 2 to 4 to 8. Boom, boom, boom. The hinds feet of the deer jumping. It's like a picture. This is picture languages of the picture. They're describing something. In the natural, man, a deer can jump. Boing! Way, jump out. No person can run and go with a deer and jump as far as they can. When they get going, man, boom. Just like God is jumping you in the spirit. 1 to 2 to 4 to 8 to 16. Then go 32. My goodness, 16 right there. Bang! 32 to 64. Oh, game 32 there. Then 64. Then 120. Oh, my goodness. So it's a picture. It's describing. You can't adequately describe a picture to a deaf, dumb, lame, blind, to someone that can't see, hear, taste, touch, or smell. Because you got that old log in your eye, adequately, with 1,000 words, you can't describe it. This picture is like that. It's a living word. It's bringing it out to you, showing you it's way beyond you. Beyond your own, me, myself, and I. It's not by your might, your power, but it's by my spirit, says the Lord. I'll jump you. Boom, boom, just green like me. Green way, go the green way. Go in God's love. Always, always, always. You see what I'm saying? All right. So God's given us metron, this limited portion of faith that we got to trust in. Plus everything that He's experienced and shown us, brought us to, all those levels, all those strings that's been twisted together, like in Isaiah chapter 40, verse 30 and 31. For those that wait upon the Lord, that actively wait, there's twisting. The strings, God is twisting it as you greenlight it. More and more and more. It's getting stronger and stronger and stronger. You go from flying to running to walking, or slowing down in the spirit, right? All right. I'm not going to go there right now. I done went there and did a series on it, okay? Now, let's go back here. Whoops. Trying to cover a pretty good bit here. We'll get her done God's way. John chapter 3, verse 15. Do as many verses, many recordings as I have to do. Okay? Now, that whosoever believeth in Him should not perish, but have eternal life. Okay? Now, we covered that, whosoever. The next word, right after that, is a very familiar word that I didn't even translate again. It's a ha, 3588. It's that muddied ball of water. God's doing that where? In your mind, in that muddy balls of water, all the thought processes in that universe of a mind. God's working all the way down in the tiniest thing to purify that thing. Just go the green way, my child. Don't go that red way. Leads to death, separation from me. Right? Okay. A little over a minute. Now we're on believeth. Okay, the word that they translated as believeth is 4100. Pistuo. P-I-S-T-E-U-O. This word.
Strong's G 4100. Pistuo.
Okay.
Pistuo.
It's a verb. The feminine noun, it comes from 4102, pistis. That's that feminine noun. So when they translate often as faith, it's the truthfulness of God, okay? And that one comes from 3982, okay? And it's a verb. It's a P-E-I-T-H-O, and it is to convince by argument. God's way is great, the green way, and the old way is your old red way. Okay? God is the greatest, or God's a monster. Green way and red way. Which way you want to go? Be reasonable, my child, and sit my way. We'll have to pick up here next time. I'm about to run out of time. That was Spiritual Toolbox number 238. We'll continue here later. Bye-bye. I love you.